So the first thing we're going to do is set up our sonar. If you want to know more about how the sonar works, go and check out the sonar tutorial video. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to connect the sonar to a breadboard and then to the Arduino Uno. So I'm going to take my sonar, and for the game, I'm going to place it somewhere around the center of the board. Doesn't exactly matter where you put it, it's up to you, but somewhere about there should be fine, and gently push it in. Next, I'm going to connect this to the Arduino Uno. So first of all, I'm going to take a jumper cable, and I'm going to start off looking at the labels here. We've got our ground, echo, trigger, and VCC, which is the power. So I'm going to start with the VCC to get some power to our sonar. So I'm going to put my jumper cable in. Remember, it doesn't matter where I put it in this line, but it must be lined up with the VCC pin. So to keep things simple, I'm not going to put it too close, just going to put it about there should do it. So I've placed that in there, and this is going to my power on the Arduino Uno, which is my 5 volts, which is just there. My 5 volts, that's my power coming out. So I'm going to plug that into there. That's in the 5 volts. Next, we need to use ground. So I'm going to take another jumper cable, and this time I'm going to line it up with my ground pin, which is this end, and making sure I'm on the correct line, place it in there, just so you can have a look. And this is going to one of my ground ports on the Arduino Uno. And to keep things simple, I'm just going to put it right next to the 5 volts where it says GND for ground. So I'll let you have a look at that. So my 5 volts and my ground next door. So that's my sonar connected with power and to ground. Next, I need to do my echo and trigger. Now these are explained in the sonar tutorial video, so I won't go over that again now. Just going to look at connecting them up. So let's have a look in there. Get it closer so you can see. Let's get these out of the way, shall we? Now I'm going to go from my trigger, which is next to the VCC. Get it in there, my trigger, and now I'm going to connect it to the other side of my Uno board. Now there are different numbers you can use, but the code that I've given you on the website uses the number 10 pin for the trigger. So this one for the trigger is going to go into the number 10 on here. And that's just because I've used number 10 in the code, which we'll look at later. So it's going into number 10. So that's my trigger sending out the signal, and my echo, which is the one that we have left here. See if I can get in there and show you. Just there, where it says echo. So that I need to connect up, and my echo is going to go to the number 9 pin. And again, I'm using number 9 just because that's the number I've already used in the code that I have supplied. Great, that's our sonar already connected up. Okay, we've got our sonar all set up and ready. Now in the Kung Fu game we need a red LED, we need the green LED, and we need our buzzer. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the red LED. Now you'll notice that this setup is pretty much the same as the Vuma game if you've already made that. But if not, I'm going to take you through step by step. It's only really the code that turns this into a different game. The hardware is pretty much the same. Okay, so we've got our red LED with our longer leg, which is positive, that goes to one of the number outputs, and the short ground leg. And I'm going to keep the short leg just on the outside and plug in just there. And I'm going to deal with the ground first of all. So this is my ground line coming in a straight line from there. So I'm just going to put it into there and take it to the blue line at the bottom. And this blue line here is connected all the way along there. And that's what I'm going to use for all of my ground connections. But I do need to connect this line to the ground on the Arduino board. So looking at the board, I move this out the way. You can see our ground connector there, and I've just put it in there. So anything plugged into this blue line here is also connected to ground on the Arduino. As we only have one ground port, we need to connect everything through this line. Now next I need to connect the positive side. So let's just have a look where that's going. Okay, move these out the way. And I'm just going to go next to where I've put the ground connector there. So making sure this is lined up there with that longer leg. And I'm going to bring this into, now red is going to go to number 13 because that's the number I've already used in the code for the Kung Fu game. So I'm going to put that into number 13 there. Okay, next we'll move on to our green LED. So here's my green LED. Again, pay attention to which is your ground leg, the short one, and which is the positive that goes to a number, the long one. And I'm going to put it over this side of the board, which may be familiar if you follow the other tutorials, with the ground leg on the outside. So I'm just placing that into there. And let's deal, so remember that one on the outside, that's the short one. So let's deal with that ground connection first. So I need to take from somewhere along here, any of these really, because these are all connected in a straight line leading up to there. So I'm going to go from there, and that has to lead to my blue ground line just along there. Remember, anything connected along this blue line is also connected to here, which is connected to the ground port on the Arduino. So that's my ground dealt with. And next, the positive. So positive for the green, I'm going to take it to number 12. So I'm just going to put that next to there, and that's leading to this longer leg here, and taking this positive connector to number 12 on the board, just in there. So that's my two LEDs set up, and the last step is the buzzer. Okay, here's my buzzer, again with the two legs, the longer positive, which we will connect up to a number, and the shorter that goes to our ground line. And I'm just going to place that into the middle somewhere. And as usual, going to leave the legs sticking out a little bit, just so I can make sure I can line everything up okay. So my shorter ground is going in that side there. So I'm just going to place it in, leave it sticking out just a little bit so that I can line everything up correctly. Let's do the ground first. So this ground line is going to be there. Okay, so that's there, that's connected into there. Hope you can see that okay. And then because this is the ground, it's going to go to my blue line. So just going to put it into there. That's the ground dealt with. And finally, the positive. And in the code that's already provided, I have the buzzer connected to number 11. So let's make sure I get it in the correct place. So if I go there, we can see that's leading up to the positive leg there. And take this positive connection over to number 11 on the board. Just have to squeeze it in between the others. Oh, bit of a tight fit there. Okay, so that's gone into there, and now I can just gently push that buzzer all the way down, and that's the hardware setup for the Kung Fu game. So we'll connect it to a computer and upload the code to play the game. So everything's ready. I've brought my laptop over. Of course, if you've done the other projects, you're not really going to need much help on this section. So taking my USB cable, that square end, and pushing it firmly into here as far as it goes, and then taking the USB end into the USB port, and of course we just check that the green light comes on the board. Okay, yep, so we know that we've got a connection there. Everything seems okay, so let's head over to the code and get it uploaded. So here's my Kung Fu code, and as usual you should recognize how we've set things up here, with 10 going to the trigger on the sonar, 9 for the echo. We've got the red LED is plugged into 13, the green LED is plugged into 12, and our buzzer is plugged into 11. I'll just run through this again in case it's your first time. Go to Tools, make sure you have the Arduino Uno board selected, and make sure you have the correct port selected. Again, if you have trouble uploading, perhaps try a different selection here. That's often the cause of trouble when you upload. But if all of that is correct, then we go to Upload here. It will compile, and then should start uploading very soon. Uploading now. And it's done uploading. So it's another game where you need to open the serial monitor and type Y to play. So I'm just going to type Y. Oh, just move where mine's set up. Just going to type Y. And okay, my time was 230 there. Let's have another go. I'm going to type Y, and okay, I got 160. Great, hopefully yours is working and you can have fun challenging your friend, see who has the fastest reaction in the Kung Fu game, and I'll see you in another video soon.